Good evening. My name is Nigel Chambers. I'm from Big Gold Belt Media. Ryan, Andrea, it's a pleasure to talk to you today about the new film In a Violent Nature, which is coming to theaters May 31st. Thank you for the time. How are you two doing?
Doing
Doing
good. Thanks
great.
for having us.
Thanks for having us.
I'm actually scared to be around you, Ryan. Just going to tell you right. Honestly, congratulations on this film. And I know you all have had premieres in New York and probably in some other cities. So I know from the responses thus far, and also the premiere at Sundance. I forget about that. That's a huge deal. That everyone's already taken a liking to it. And for the folks who know, we've already proclaiming this as a classic. For you two, going back to when you filmed it, going back to the first time you got to watch this with the audience, did you all know, did you have something special on your hands?
Yeah, I think you never can really know as you're filming. I think, there's been projects I've been on where I'm like, yeah, this is for sure gonna be it, and then nothing happens. So I think you kind of have to just go into it and just have fun and do the work. But I think it really hit me. Well, when we got the call that we were going to Sundance, of course, but also watching it with the audience there, and the horror community has just been so receptive and so goddamn awesome about it.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those situations where like you go into every project and you give it your all, and when you're with really great talented people, and there's a great concept and something like there's been so many times too where I'm with on other projects and I'm thinking I'm like this is it, this one's gonna pop off, but you never know and you never can know until it's kind of happening, and who knows what the exact reason, like I mean there's great films that don't get attention, and then there's films that the great films that do get attention too, so it's just fun to be a part of that and to be a part of the zeitgeist that's kind of grabbing onto it and giving it this love.
Yeah, listen, Ryan, I know you're a huge horror fan and enthusiast, and I jokingly said this in the review, that I kind of have a sense that like when you love horror, at some point, especially when you're an actor, but for all of us cosplayers, we'll just say, but when you're an actor, I would imagine that this was a bucket list for you. Everyone at one point either wanted to be Michael Myers. They wanted to be Freddy. They thought about what would it be to be that iconic slasher. And here you are in 2024, which we honestly thought I never thought we would have a new one on our hands. I mean, Art the Clown came recently, but here we are with Johnny. Just for you, considering that I feel like this was a bucket list for you, but ultimately knowing that this will be an instant classic, stepping into this role of Johnny, what has it meant to you? And ultimately, how do you feel about the portrayal of now the iconic role of Johnny?
It's crazy even hearing you say that, because I'm like I'm in denial. And, like it's just I think it's so much fun to just be this character and to step into it as a huge horror geek, and that having watched all these characters growing up and always wanted, like what we used to play as kids, we played Jason, and it was basically, we chased people around, it was like hide and seek, but Jason
Yep.
would be coming to get you. So being a part of that, and then like honestly too, like this is something I just remembered this, you saying this, but years ago when the new Halloween was about to be coming out, a friend of mine wanted to campaign to try and get me to audition for Michael Myers. And we kind of joked about it for a bit. We are going to shoot a short film or like some scenes and like trying to send it in it. But then I was kind of like that, like it's too much, it's too big, it's too much of a thing. So to be even in the same sentences as those characters, it's just an honor and a pleasure.
Yeah, man. I no exaggeration just because of the opportunity to talk to you too, but by all means, everybody will be talking about Johnny, and certainly we'll be talking about what I feel is one of the most, which will be one of the most iconic kills in a horror film of all time. Uh, Andrea, covered and for you having a background and doing a lot of work in terms of the rom-com community, now you step into the horror genre, and I don't want to give anything away, but you're stepping into an iconic position in the horror genre. For you, just how special it was in this character, Chris.
It was so special, man. And honestly, it was so fun. I love challenging myself with stepping into different genres. I think it's a great way to grow as an artist, and as a collaborator. And honestly, just getting to play this role was yeah, such a blessing, and I'm so grateful for it.
You all have the iconic presence of Lauren Marie Taylor in this film, which just takes the end of this film in a direction that has me already ready for a sequel. And I don't even want to say a sequel as in one more, but like the start of the franchise here because of what the character, the woman brings. For having somebody like Lauren who has just really given so much into this genre, what did it mean for you two in terms of also understanding that this film is special when you could sign somebody like that on board?
Yeah, I think it's just a testament to the community and to the love that people have for horror and just wanting to make it. It was so special to have her there, and she kind of like christened christened our film.
That's a great way to put it. Um, right. I would imagine that once this film released and again coming to theaters May 31st, no one's going to trust doing yoga around you anymore. It just won't ever look the same anymore for you. And a particular moment, which I build as the most iconic kill in horror history with this. Have you named that, or has there been a discussion of some of the killing names with Chris, the writer director?
We've kind of started referring to them as, yeah, like we call it the yoga kill now because everyone's calling it that. And the wood chipper death. Yeah, like it's kind of just the base level of what the thing is, and people just start calling it the rock kill. There's
Yeah,
yeah,
super straightforward.
yeah, it's just, it is what it is kind of thing. But I don't know, maybe people will give a specific term for what those kills are, or a name, and I mean, we're all for it.
Yeah, just give it a few days. Just give it a few days. Soon as the
Yeah,
horror
we'll
community
see.
really get their hands on it. Yeah. And again, not to spoil anything here, but again, I've loved this film. And thank you to the good folks at what IMC and Shudder for opportunity to check this out early. And again, I'm gonna make sure I promote that everybody go check this out in theaters May 31st. But because I have you two here, if I had to turn the page here and we had to talk about the next chapter and what may be next in store for you two's character, what would that look like? What would you all want?
I think Johnny and Chris have such a unique relationship in this film. I would love to see a continuation of that, kind of what happens there. And also, I think the aftermath of everything that has happened and exploring the psychology of that, I think would be really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that too, like the cool thing about this film too is it almost feels like it is a second or third installment in a series, because there's the story that happened before, and the origin of Johnny and everything before. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see kind of maybe before and then an after, involving everything kind of coming full circle. So I don't know, we'll see what happens, because it would be cool to see Chris come back or come back to hunt Johnny after he disappears again, for get her revenge.
Oh, her revenge, huh? That must you kind of give some characteristics of a particular character in a slasher. Final question for you, Ryan. I heard you showed up to the New York premiere and you actually wore the suit. What's the on time for you to get fully dressed as Johnny?
It doesn't, for when I'm just wearing the mask and the suit, it doesn't take too long at all. When we actually were shooting, I'd say for that stuff, it's only about, maybe 10 minutes to get all that on. When we're actually shooting, I have a whole other underlayer of, there's like fake skin on this like body, Under Armour stuff that I wear. And then the cowl, which goes over top, and there's an opening, and the mask on top. And then I have prosthetic gloves basically that are on my hands to the whole thing. So that we got that down to a pretty quick science too, though I'd stay in the suit for the most part and then take the gloves on and off here and there. But that was, I think the longest would have been the face makeup day that Steve Konstanski came on set to do that day. And that probably was about a 3-hour makeup job, I think.
Oh,
So that was the longest for suiting up.
all right, all right. Well, get used to it because I'm gonna need you to suit up for at least 10 or 20 more years. Okay.
I'll
But
take it.
truly, absolutely, Andrea and Ryan, thank you so much for your time today. And once again, folks, check out In a Violent Nature coming to theaters May 31st. I'll be seeing you all very soon. So get back to work one way or another. Chris Nash, if you're hearing this, make the call. Get back in the lab. Seriously, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks,
so
man.
much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is
Absolutely.
awesome.